This or this? Hello beauties! Blush. Blush can literally totally change your entire face and how it is. It can make either your face look more down, it can make you youthful, it can really change the shape of how your cheeks and the rest of your face is really. So I absolutely love blush, and I thought it would be really a good idea to do a video based on blush and blush placement only. I saw a video like this on Alexandra Anele channel. She's gonna be linked down below. I tagged her in my video, and I think she's amazing, and I was just inspired to continue my how-to playlist. The purpose of blush is basically to bring back some life into your face, or some color, because when you put foundation, you really unify the skin tone, and it's just one blank canvas. So you're gonna have bronzer, you're gonna have contour, and then you have a blush. It's obviously gonna lift and brighten your face in a way where usually when you use blush, you don't only use one single shade of blush, you're gonna use multiple shades or multiple formulas to really layer them to make it look very natural in a really beautiful way. So there's different formulas you can have. You can have gel, powder, cream to powder, some chubby pencils, or like some cheek tints, or even liquid blush is now a new thing, which it's just a drop and then you blend it into your skin. There's a pot rouge, which is more for dry skin types, and it's a very heavy consistency. You know, there's so many options. Literally. There's some tips and tricks that I'm going to teach you today so your blush can look absolutely amazing in the most natural way. I usually use a cream blush and then I use a powder blush to set it. I have multiple blushes, of course, but now we will talk about the steps that you need to take to have a beautiful blush, and that's how I do it. So first of all, I did my face like I said. I didn't powder at all, so the only thing that I powdered is my concealer, just because I don't want it to crease. So only on the under eye, but the rest, everything else is not powdered. So I start usually with a cream blush before I apply anything else. I either go with the Milk Makeup Lip Plus Cheeks blush or the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette, depending on my mood, just because these colors are different. This one is more, it's brighter, as you can see. This one is very bright, and then this one is more, I would say, darker, but not as bright as this one. So you see it's darker, it's more of like a natural color, like my lips, I would say. Problem with blush, usually when you take your natural color or a natural color that will just really peek through and enhance your natural beauty, is it's gonna disappear over time. So sometimes I would put, for example, just a really pale blush that looks cute on my cheeks, and it would just disappear. Like at the end of the video, it would be gone. So that is a problem with only applying one shade of blush, is it's going to disappear throughout the day, or even it's going to take an hour and it's not going to be in your foundation anymore. So that is why I apply 2-3 shades of blushes on top of each other. I'm going to start with the Milk Makeup Lip Plus Cheek, which is my favorite. So I go with this angled brush for the blush. I'm using it for blush just because of how easy it is to apply on the cheeks. And for this one, since it is our natural blush, I like to apply it in tapping motions, especially on the foundation, because sometimes some blushes might, I would say, strip away your foundation, which it's not supposed to do this, but you never know. So I'm going to be applying this. And of course, there's two different, I would say, placement, and there's multiple placements on the cheeks. I like to place it here since it lifts my face off, and my cheekbones are kind of sharp if I do put some bronzer. So when I put it high here, it lifts my face. The other placement where I would say is right on the cheekbones, which it is very cute when you are young, but when you are older, if you put it at the front, or depending on your face shape, it's gonna bring your face down, and what's gonna happen is it's really, I'm gonna show you what it does there. And I like to put, like, I layer it. I don't put all of it right away. I just go little by little, so it's very blended and it doesn't look like a streak of blush on my face. So I'm gonna apply it right here, which sometimes, depending on the blush, it's gonna make you youthful, but sometimes it's just gonna, bring your face down a little bit. And sometimes the apples, the problem is some people have the apples more on the side, some people have the apples more in the middle, closer to the nose. Me, it's really close to the nose, you know. Sometimes I do it depending on my mood. But as you can see, if I hide, it lifts my face and it rounds up my cheekbone, which is what color does. It literally rounds up. Meanwhile, light brings it forward and darkness like brings it in. So when you have, for example, like contour and highlight, it will look sharper. So if you like a sharper look, this is going to be good for you. But if you don't like that sharpness that is happening on your face, then blush will round up everything and make it look beautiful. Tell me down below what you prefer. Do you prefer if I put the blush here on my cheekbone, or do you prefer if I put it on the side right here? It really depends on your preferences, really. But I don't like to have too much redness here, you know? So this will bring my face down a little bit because the bronzer comes here and it brings it down. Meanwhile, this is really up and it stays up, and I feel like I can put a lot more on this side specifically. Another placement that I like to put is here on the chin, because it's gonna round up the chin depending on what you want. Mine is already round, but it makes it rounder a little bit. And on the nose here, on this side at the top, it's going to round up the nose. It's going to add some cuteness to it. And then here, if you want to round up your forehead and it brings back some life into it as well, I just take the excess that is on my brush and I just press it on my forehead. Been loving this one. I like this one still, but sometimes, like I said, depending on what you put, what type of blush you put, what color, it's going to bring your face down. This one doesn't really seem to bring my face down too much, but still. So you put the natural color, what you want, first, and that is really important, because after that you're gonna put your bronzer, you're gonna put other colors on top. And usually when you put the bronzer under and you put your natural color on top and the other color, it might make your cheeks look a little bit dirty, which you don't want that to happen. So that's why putting the blush, I've been doing this all along, putting the blush first and then you add other layers on top of bronzer. So the bronzer, you can always use it as blush on top, and it's always gonna melt into it very nicely. And it's more of like an orangey, I would say, bronzer, and it's gonna melt really, really well with your blush, your natural blush. As you can see, it's melting into it very nicely. And that is a trick if you don't have a second blush, is you have your bronzer, if you have bronzer, and you just place it a little tiny bit on top, and it's gonna really warm it up a little bit, and it's gonna look really, really nice on your skin. So that's what I do. I put the bronzer already there. I don't like what I'm seeing here. You know, this is not what I like. I particularly prefer this over this. There's still some redness peeking through, some pink, but you want more blush if you want this to really brighten, enhance, lift your face, or whatever you want to do. So I have two different blushes, and this, you want a brighter color than your natural color. So I can recommend either this one, which this is bright for my face, really bright. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush. Very nice. And the fact that there's a little bit of shimmer in there is really important, because if you don't have shimmers or if you don't have highlight, your face is going to look kind of flat, which you want to avoid with, I would say, some shimmer in the blush, but really, really most minimal way possible. I'm going to take my brush and then dip it into this primer infused blush. And this is the shade Always Lucky. Lucky to have this blush because, and like I said, I like to mix multiple formulas. It's really nice to do so. So I'm going in with the blush, and I dipped really the most tiniest bit possible, and then you just blend it into the skin, and it lifts the face like this. So it really depends what you prefer. Sometimes I like to bring it all the way to the front, depending, but we are keeping it there for now. I also like to do other things, but I'm going to tell you after what I do. So we will go with this one right here. And this is bright. I removed the excess on my arm. And this is bright. This is hella bright. Different my face is gonna look. So this is on this side. This is on the apple cheeks. And this is on this side. And it really depends, like I said, what you prefer. And another trick that I like is to diffuse those two together, which means the bronzer and the blush, because they almost go in together. Since I told you that bronzer can be used as blush as well, there's so many possibilities, to be honest. I use a little clean brush for this one, and I just really blend it like this. Oops. I blend it and the pigment goes a little bit on there and it diffuses it. I bring it in at the front, and you always have to work a little bit harder for these colors to blend in. You can always add some bronzer if you want, highlight, but you can definitely see the difference. And on camera, I think this will appear more than this one. But yeah, go back a little bit and I put it on the chin. And it rounds it up. Rounds up my nose because it's very straight. So I want this to look more like a button. So you put it on the tip of your nose. And I like to put it also a little bit here, because I don't want my forehead to look too flat either. And this brings life back into my skin. And as you can see, there's kind of like a little shimmer in there. It's very cute. And if you don't have shimmer in your blush, you can always add a little bit, tiny bit of highlight on top of it. And that is a trick that I recommend. You don't want the blush to be too flat and to make your face flat. So there is a problem that a lot of people encounter with blush is sometimes it streaks. And the problem with that is either you use too much moisturizer or too much primer under your foundation, or your foundation wasn't powdered properly. Especially if you're using only powder blush or any type of blush. I tend to put the cream blush when it's not powdered yet, and to blend it just because it is easier. You can do either way. You can powder and then put blush, but I just feel like for me it doesn't really work, and I have to put it before I powder everything. And that's another trick. You can also put the cream and then powder a translucent powder on top and then add a blush on top of it, or you can just use one type of blush. But I highly recommend you layering different colors so the blush really comes out and it looks way better, and it's gonna really make your face youthful, lift everything. Tell me which side you prefer. Do you prefer the side on the cheeks right here, or do you prefer in front of here on my apple cheek? So it really depends what you prefer, of course. And yeah, so I'm gonna come for a close-up for you to decide which side is the best of them all. And I really hope that you enjoyed this little how-to tutorial for blush, and especially for blush placement, where I recommend, so again, here on the cheeks, on the nose, depending if you want it rounder or not, and on your forehead. So wherever you want to be rounded up, you put blush, and it's gonna look really pretty. It's gonna round up everything, bring the light and the darkness together with some color. So that's what it is. Let me just apply some shimmer because this is a little bare. So Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush Palette. And this, for example, if you have like a line of blush, highlight, and look, it disappears. So if you liked this video, make sure to tell me down below and to tell me what you would want to see next. Do you want contour? Do you want bronzer? Do you want anything? Tell me, because I really want to know what you prefer and what you want to see in my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Also, don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Comment down below what you want to see next, or which side you preferred better. Do you prefer the lifted side, or do you prefer the cheek side? It really depends. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more of this content. How-to tutorials, eye makeup tutorials, every single tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. So I really love you, beauties, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, beauties. Blush is literally life. Let me say it once again.